Hello, this is Dr. Young. I'm going to go over week 3. I'm sorry, unit 3. There I go again. It's unit 3. And the assignments. So take a moment to go over the faculty video, the HRM faculty overview number 2. What that is just kind of a overview of what we're going to do the rest of the term. Since there's only 2 terms left, there's only 4 total. It just kind of talks about what we're covering next. It is on the announcement board. Okay, so we have, this week we have a discussion again and a project. So for your discussion, just make sure you're trying to meet this word count. I mean, it's a big range, but not too short, not too long. So let's see. Just a second. Yeah, here's doing discussion questions right. And remember, this PDF is for your use, and it just gives you some guidelines onto what you need to do. Don't make, just, you're all pretty much, so far I've noticed that you've got this down mostly, but I'm just, this gives you just a little bit more detail as far as word count and just kind of how the response should be formed, the content, what you should try to do in the content portion as far as answering a question, and then the follow-up could be additional questions to another student, challenges, debate, anything, something that you want to add to maybe expand on someone's point. Those are all good ways to offer a substantive response. Okay, and that's just a quick little overview there. Sorry, I just went past my discussion, didn't I? I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, here we go. Okay. We're going to talk about measurement. And there's a lot in the measurement chapter. So make sure to read it, because you're going to need to read it to answer these questions. So for the first bullet, evaluate the interpretations that can be made from the standard scores. How are interpretation of scores applied practically to staffing decisions? There's a section on standard scores in the text. What I'm asking you to do is tell me what what information can be garnered from standard scores, and how is that applied to making staffing decisions. That's it. That's pretty much the gist of it. But make sure, like I said, to read your text, and you can use outside research, of course. As it says here, the library. There's a link to it there. And then the second bullet, assess testing and reliability of measurements. What is the best practice in testing the reliability of measures? So how do you ensure that if you come up with a process for testing, how do you make sure that it tests, it basically measures, candidate A and candidate B the same way. So, you have to, reliability tells you whether you can take a test in a controlled environment, and you can generalize that outside of that environment to, in practical environments. So that's what you're looking for when it comes to reliability. Reliability and validity are different. Validity speaks to whether what you want to be measured is actually being measured. Reliability speaks to, is this reliable across populations? If I measure this demographic or this group of people against this one over here, is it going to have the same, is it going to be reliable between both groups. So make sure you understand the difference between validity and reliability. Okay. Well, that is not what I wanted to do right there. Okay. And I'm sorry, I was having some trouble earlier with this recorder. That's why it'll be posted on Monday. I mean, not Monday, Wednesday, but today. But it is a little later in the day than I normally like to post these. So I apologize for that. But this thing was not working, and now it is. So I don't know what I did, but I reset it. Okay. Unit 3 project. Now let's just kind of talk about the basic format. 6 to 8 page paper. It's a long paper. It's in Word, APA style. I think we went over that earlier in the term. I like to use the OWL at Purdue, but that doesn't mean you have to. There's also just the APA website. There's different colleges that have resources on APA format that follow the 6th edition. It's up to you. But make sure that it is APA style. Okay. Now, you're playing a role here. You're the HR director who's beginning the process of hiring a new employee for a newly created job. A job analysis has been completed, and the best candidate is someone who already has previous knowledge about a current product line being produced at an organization. The HR director is looking to promote a current employee within an organization. So this is internal recruitment. And this is kind of loosely based on a scenario at General Electric that when I was working there, because I created the course and the materials in this course. So this was kind of a loosely based on that situation. So the first bullet, you would examine what system of recruitment HR should use, including the internal recruiting methods that should be used and why. Evaluate the advantages and disadvantages HR recruitment. Well, I need to redo that one. Looks like that's a little, we left a word out. Okay. Evaluate the method, basically here. Evaluate the advantages and disadvantages of the HR recruitment method and provide rationale for your final choice. So basically what you're going to do here, and I apologize for that, I have to have that fixed. The first bullet, you're choosing one. And then you are talking about the advantages and disadvantages and providing rationale. Analyze legal regulations and equal employment opportunity laws and explain how you will avoid legal issues in your internal recruiting process. And then evaluate the legal considerations of internal and external recruiting. So just make sure that you're, and again, for this specific scenario, you will, you want to promote someone internally. So really this is setting you up for internal recruiting. But I still want you to evaluate the legal considerations of internal and external recruiting, since we're talking about both in this class. That's about it, really. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. This is one of those things where you want to be as detailed as possible. It is a 6 to 8 page paper. I do think the challenge here will be filling out a 6 to 8 page paper about this. However, consider that there are many legal considerations for internal and external recruiting. And consider EEO laws. There's a lot to cover there. Also, there's many ways of recruiting. Now, internal recruiting, there's different ways to do that as well. So, just go through all those and talk about the advantages and disadvantages. I think that you will find there's a lot more information than you think at first glance here. Especially in the context of, you're reading this book, and I've, That book has a lot of information in it. So just, and please make sure, what I would recommend also is don't just rely on your text, because there's always something new come out regarding, in recruiting, also in legal. Look up some EEO law cases. Feel free to weave those in there if they're applicable here, because you can really discuss current litigation going on, EEO litigation, or regarding, and just do a keyword search on EEO and internal recruiting, see what you come up with. I'm just looking for like current events weaved into this as well. It just makes the paper seem, more relevant, currently relevant, than just going through a textbook and saying, reading what that says. There's a lot of the stuff in the textbook, even though they also have new cases in the text and new situations. But again, pulling in different resources, pulling in different research is only going to help your paper. So I would recommend doing that. That's really all there is for this week. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. This class moves so fast, I cannot believe it's halfway over at this point. But I hope you're enjoying the class and the content. If you have any comments about the course, any feedback, please email me about it. I'll be happy to assist you. It's a work in progress. It can always be improved. So that's about it. Have a great week. Thank you.